Hello, I'm Mort. These are miniatures, and welcome to my vlog. Right, so first up, following on from the last video, which seemed like ages ago.
That's because it was ages ago, Mort.
Here are some Plague Monks, which I got round to painting a little while back now. Let's zoom in and take a closer look at them. Yeah, these guys came out alright, if a little rough. So, here's the first two. This one here has an advanced Heroquest shield, which I tried to paint to look like sort of decayed bronze, and I'm not sure it came out that well, but it's alright. Spike stands back, went for a sort of spiky warrior look to this one. And this one here's, I think, entirely stock pieces. And it's got the sort of strips of, it's not really a banner, is it? Strips of scrolls sort of hanging from there, parchment with some Skaven-esque runes on there. I didn't actually look at the Skaven books for reference on these, I just sort of made them up as I went along. They've come out looking alright. Yeah, not really that much to say. Quite pleased with the skin on these. Used a bit of red wash around the pocks and boils to sort of get across the diseased look without going into sort of rotting Nurgle territory, so yeah, quite pleased with that. And also quite pleased with the dull green for the cloaks. So cloaks, robes, they're robes, aren't they? Right, let's show you another two. Okay, so this guy here with the dagger and sword has got a head from a very old, the original plastic Skaven. Again, not much else to say about him. Came out alright. A little bit of rough painting. I tend to be a bit rough when I paint the Skaven, I don't know why. It must be a rat thing. This guy here with the warp scroll, yeah, gave him a mace. I think that came from, or the head of it came from a Chaos Warrior sprue. The handle of it is just the musician's baton for hitting the gong with from the Plague Monk sprue. Little skull on top of his hood there. I've painted red to match with various other models in my Skaven forces, including my Greyseer and my Ratman champion with Machine Claw. Insert pictures here. And lastly, for the Plague Monks, here's my Plague Censer Bearer. I didn't like the original way they had the Plague Censer, so instead I mounted it on a staff rather than the sort of flaily mace thing it started out as. It's got a dagger in the other hand, and this body came out of my scraps box rather than right off one of my nice clean sprues, and the tail was rather damaged, so I've replaced the tail with one off a different Skaven sprue. I believe the Mordheim Gutter Runner sprue, but I cannot be entirely sure since one tail looks very much like another. Yeah. Came out alright, these. And at the same time I was painting those, I painted these three little things. This one is a Plague Rat from the Plague Monk sprue. Pox, boils and spikes on there. Kind of matches this guy. On the middle there is a two-headed rat from a different Skaven sprue. Yeah, quite interesting. I'll add that to my sort of forces of mutant rats that go alongside my Skaven, and maybe it will be in focus. And finally, there's this little guy. He's a miniature Plague Monk. Well, that's a miniature that is a Plague Monk. and that is an even smaller miniature plague monk. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea what this guy is for, because he's not really a giant rat. He's more humanoid in shape and pose, and he's too small to be a full-size Skaven. So what gives? What's all this about? Huh? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to use him as. Maybe some kind of like a little familiar for my Grey Seer or one of my Skaven Warlocks. Really don't know. But interesting little model nonetheless. Was it even in focus? Now it's in focus. As you might know from previous videos, due to lockdown, I have got a considerably diminished group of just Trev and Andy at the moment, and I am running him through my own version of the Shattered Amulet mini-campaign that appears in the Advanced Heroquest rulebook. And coming up soon in that will be the Plague Temple, which, as you may or may not know, requires a falling block trap for location D. Hey, Helekia, would you mind standing there a minute? So yeah, this is a new addition to my dungeon, a falling block trap. I made this out of a plastic kid's building block, bit of chain from a Mega Block set, and slab of plasticard with some rivets added that came from a sacrificial Dalek. Yeah, quite pleased with this. Painted up in my usual stone way, used various red washes and inks to get the blood splatter effect on the underneath there. Not bad at all, this, and as you just saw, very effective. Now, before we go any further, I am Gargaroth of Mysteries. Riddle the first. A snake is the truth I sought. Riddle the second. A bramble is the truth I sought. Riddle the third. A candle is the truth I sought. And if you don't know what that bit was about, go back and watch the last video. And for location F, the Plague Temple itself, I've made this little altar. Now, this is a Reaper piece, which was a miscast I found in the scraps bin, so I've redone the top using milliput, and with a ball of foil and a bit more milliput, I filled in the back there that was hollow for some reason I don't entirely understand. Anyway, yep, came out quite nice. Not really much to say about that. I painted it stone coloured and added a few little streaks on there to make it look a bit weathered and to match up with all the cracks and stuff on there. Here's Helekia for scale. Sorry about the falling block trap, mate. Look, here, have some of the treasure from Dreadfleet. Go on, you can take it. Nothing bad will happen. Okay, look, I'm sorry, Helekia. Look, how would you like a puppy? This little puppy here is a piece of a broken Christmas ornament that I have repainted, and it came out rather nice because it was quite a high quality ornament to start with. Yeah, look at him there. It had a bit of a weird kind of miscast slash mould line thing down there, which I've turned into a little sort of scrap of parchment hanging from his collar. Maybe it says his name on it or something. I don't know. Talking of dogs, here's a little dog on wheels toy I made basically for a joke. This is made from a Monopoly dog piece and some beads for the wheels and a few scraps of wood, and the little bit at the front by which a child would tow it by a bit of string is made from a spare chain link from the chain I used on the falling block trap. Yeah, nothing impressive painting wise, it's basically just brown. Came out alright. Yep. Here's Hlekjar and the puppy for scale. Now, I've mentioned Miniature Heroes several times before because that's how I get hold of Reaper miniatures in the UK. But did you know that Miniature Heroes also make their own miniatures? This is one of them. It's called a Druj. It's a kind of exoskeletal alien. Shall we open this up and take a look at it? Oh, good. Nice resealable baggie there. Although it does have staple holes through it now. Right. Okay, so this comes in two parts. Maybe we'll zoom in a little. That's better. We've got the head here, and of course the body. Let's have a look at the head first. This is quite a nice piece. Kind of reminds me of the Predator, but with a bit more armoured plating on there. Quite nice. Underneath is not particularly interesting. That's just where the neck sticks on. Nice sort of spikes and armour on top there. And is that hair at the back there, or sort of dreadlocky tentacle things? Again, very predatory. Let's take a look at the body now. Yep. Again, all bone plates, exoskeletal is the word I've been using. So one hand here is a sort of hooked blade thing, and the other is a more conventional claw. And I believe there's going to be more of these in the future with different weapons and so on the end of their arms. Some detail on the back there, got the spine coming down and the insect-like armoured plating. Hang on, I've just noticed that crotch. Can you see that? Is everyone else seeing what I'm seeing? Now, of course, because the head is a separate piece, that means they could also make some variant heads and variant bodies, and you'd be able to swap them between and produce a whole variety of different Druj. Here it is standing up on its base. Let's see if we can tentatively bounce the head on to show what the whole thing would look like. It's not going to stay on its own, is it? I'll get some blue tack. Yes, that's much better. This is what the entire thing will look like when assembled. Gives you a good idea. Yeah, rather nice this. Now, of course, I don't really do sci-fi miniatures, so what am I going to do with this? Well, as it happens, since it doesn't have any kind of sci-fi guns or anything attached to it, this will make a rather nice bone demon, I think. So, that's what I'm going to be doing with it myself. Here's Hlekjar for scale, and of course the Miniature Heroes scale measuring thingamabob. And since someone's bound to ask, here it is with a Space Marine.
Aliens.
So, that's the Druj so far. More on that another time. Great, now I'll have to dig out this blue tack with a cocktail stick before I can assemble this properly. Incidentally, Tim, who runs Miniature Heroes, is doing his own series of videos, which I'll link to in the description below. And that's about it for this vlog. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you're subscribed to my channel, like this video. Until next time, I need a goodbye catchphrase.